as we've asked so many times before, we want you to take action on this thing, but not just any action, consistent action. Because organic marketing is not for someone who's going to dip in today, put their phone number on a post, ask some strangers to call them now just because they've got the parts to do a certain job. And you know what I mean? Like, it gets insanely technical and short, and it's so obvious to your market how short that is. So be a person, plan to engage, go in Facebook groups, talk to people about something other than electrical too. Be a community member, do it consistently, and watch the wins pile up. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to yet another episode of Electricpreneur Secrets, the Electricians podcast. I'm your host, Clay Newmeyer. With me, as always, my esteemed co-host, Joseph Lucani, and we are the Electricpreneurs, just a couple of master electricians with business addictions here and ready to serve. Who? You. Serving electricpreneurs, other electricians in this service game looking to master their sales, simplify their pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. Cost for admission to this one, sit back in the hot seat, take everything we give and promise to take action, because this episode is hot. It is certainly no exception. How to be a social media, an organic marketing boss. Joseph, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing awesome. And I actually wanted to start off by giving you a compliment.
Okay.
Because I love the energy that you're bringing today. Like, you could just tell your words have got a point to it. The smile is up. Honestly, you inspire me, brother. You really do.
Thank you. I'm equally inspired. That's where the energy comes from. That's what it's all about. We also not only do a podcast 5 days a week, we do a class 5 days a week. And a lot of inspiration comes from there in the inside track too, where, I don't know, 15 on average, 20 guys show up, sometimes teams, and they pour their hearts out and their questions and the answers and do the role play and the objection handles and all that fun stuff. So that always gets me a little jazzed up too.
I love it. And you know what? It was great having you in those classes as well. It's always a pleasure, man.
Today's episode, we've got something pretty special, actually, because one of those classes this week on Monday, one of our clients, yours truly, you've seen him in an interview, in an interview. That's a bit of a tongue twister if you've ever tried.
In an interview.
Mr. Hayes Electric, Dorian Hayes, but also since that interview, and right around that time, I think his Mrs. Juliet left her prior occupation as a teacher to be all in on their business. So we've got a cool little update. Juliet came to class and gave a wicked great testimony for Facebook organic marketing and how much of a difference it's made in their business. And I'm thinking about sharing that today, Joe. What do you think?
I think that'd be worth doing. Yeah. I mean, if we have a copy available, then by all means.
All right. Well, let's pull it up and let's listen. This is an actual introspect, you guys, to you watching, engaging with us live on the Facebook. If you're listening to this, you're going to hear it. If you want to see it, you could jump on our YouTube channel and catch it there at Electricpreneur Secrets as well. Let me get this thing going full screen, though, because this is right out of a class, and I can't wait to show it and share it. You ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right. You just got to confirm for me, guys, if you're watching on the Facebook Live, that you can indeed see and hear this. Let's see.
Question, but I do have like a sort of little testimonial, if that's okay.
Oh, please. Please. Thank you.
Okay.
Raina, don't worry. We've got plenty to dig into today, but I appreciate you being present. Juliet, by all means.
Also, I'm super pumped about this. So we had a call with Raina, and I really just wanted to let everyone know in here how awesome the Facebook cheat sheet has been for Dorian and I. And I like almost can't explain how awesome it's been for us, but I'm going to try to paint the picture if that's okay. So for anyone who doesn't know, Dorian went full-time with Hayes Electrical in August, and I quit my teaching job to join in November. And so I'm CSR/office manager, but also do all of the local networking as well. I would say with 3 weeks, I have been absolutely blown away at what us following the Facebook cheat sheet consistently has done for us. And I'll give a few examples. So as far as like the presence goes, I feel like we have really just laid of people know who we are, people know what we do, and people know even how we do it. And so I was just chit-chatting at a local coffee one morning, and I was almost like could have fallen down because someone used the same to explain Hayes Electrical back to me. And they either say that, and I've had this happen a couple of times, and I've had this, they either say, like, I've heard so and so describe your company, because I usually say, you know, the same thing. We've simplified it, like, and that was really cool to see that people are buying into what we're talking about and they actually have a true understanding, especially when they can relay that back to me, but also they're saying that to other people who may need electricians. And I go to networking groups and they're like, oh, you're Juliet, or oh, your husband's the electrician. And one that I thought was funny, I introduced myself the other day to a gentleman and he said, well, I know you're not Dorian, but I know you're his wife. And it's just so cool to see. And one of the things thinking on a couple weeks ago, I told Dorian, I said, this is so important, and I'm really proud of us for stepping outside of our comfort zones to do this, because talking about yourself on social media can be a little, like, it seems silly. And if Dorian can do it, anybody can. Because when I tell you he hated social media, like never wanted his face to be online, never wanted to talk about himself. But like Clay says, people work with people. And I love that I'm seeing that people see like Dorian and Julie electrical. Dorian is Dorian, but he just so happens to be an electrician. We just so happen to own Hayes Electrical. And what I was explaining to him is, like, we go inside people's homes, and I don't take that lightly because that is where people live. That's people. And so it's so important to let the community know that, look, we're people just like you. We have a family. You can trust us. You can rely on us. And that is like a huge responsibility. But I'm so proud of Dorian and we've been able to accomplish just by posting consistently on Facebook. Like people, I go to places and they're like, you look so familiar. And I'm like, oh, my husband and I own, Hayes Electrical. They're like, that's what it is. I've seen you guys on Facebook. And people come up to us and they say, the thing that was really huge to me, I went to a breakfast last week and someone came up to me and they told me, they said, he's a local state trooper and he is a part of the association and he's going to be moving into a new role. And their marketing director told him he had and like posting about himself. And he said verbatim, the thought of doing that makes me want to gag. And he said, what I've seen you and Dorian doing is amazing to me. And I was like, look, people want to know who you are. I said, I know it's comfort zones. Totally get that. It was out of mine. It was out of Dorian's by far. Trust me. But I said, it's so worth it. Like people want to see you and who you are. You want to relate to people. And so he was like, I just want to let you know that the way on social media is the way that you are in person. And it comes across as genuine. And the lady on the side of him, she chimed in and she was like, it really does. She was like, you're just being yourself. That's just who you guys are. And when I tell you, like, the past few weeks have just been awesome to share that, to encourage people to start doing it, like, just be as consistent as possible and just use it. Because when I tell you, like, that is, like, top lead generation for us by far. And it's been awesome, just the presence on Facebook.
Wow. I mean, coming in first off with a fire testimony, completely unscripted off the bat, Rich, I want to applaud that as well. Like, Juliet, truly, you could not have asked for a better outcome because you can almost hear it in your voice. This is a genuine thing, and I'm so glad that you've experienced that level of relief. And it makes me so happy to know that customers are seeing you as you want to be seen, but also how you truly are. You're found an authentic expression for your authentic self. And I could not be more proud because you deserve the acclamations that you guys have gotten so far. Play by all means.
Juliet, I got to jump on this one too. First, I want to say, if you wanted to be on the podcast, just ask.
Yeah.
Secondly, you said something really, really important. I want to make sure everyone picked up. that I once hired a coach, and it was maybe the biggest thing I took from that coaching relationship was he said, everyone else is worried about saying the same things over and over. He said, when I go to a network meeting, they say my thing before I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Or saying your thing back to you. That is huge. That is the epitome of marketing success. For a small business to accomplish that, absolutely bravo. Well done.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Nicely done there.
All right, Joe. We did it, man. We did it. I've never done that during a podcast before, so forgive me with any technical glitches, guys. I know that that popped in a little bit, in and out. Recording's not perfect, but man, let me highlight this again, Joe. Let me get the energy back up for everyone watching this, because
Sounds
what
good.
she said at one point, and I said it again at the end of that recording, she has people coming and saying their statements, using their words about premium service to homeowners in their local market. They're saying it back to them. And again, I need to reiterate, that is the epitome of marketing success. Where else do we see this? It's brands like Subway, right? And Happy Gilmore, you see it on a movie. It's going to be brands like Nike and the swoosh. Just do it, right? But no one expects that from the small brands. And that, my friend, to me, is a huge, huge lever that you can have in social media, organic marketing, because you have the opportunity to continually drip your personal vision, your personal perspective, and that business perspective, that unique service position in your market every single day of the week. Massive.
So true. So true. And you know, like, it's funny that you can almost see, like, for anyone who's watching, you get to see what it's like inside one of our classes, and the genuine surprise and support and happiness that we felt for Juliet. You got to see it firsthand. Because Juliet and Dorian, when you're listening to this later, I want you to know we love you guys so much, and we're so proud of what you've done, and we cannot stand more proudly behind you. So thank you for doing the things you're doing as well.
Likewise, man. Yeah, I would echo that statement, and I would add that Juliet's likely blushing because I saw her comment earlier on the Facebook on the live here. She's engaging, as well as James is here. Tiffany, thank you guys for letting us know it's coming through okay. Riley's with us, so thank you guys very much. Now, a big piece of what she's saying, and something to really integrate into this podcast, is again emphasis on how much of the person was coming through. Did
Correct.
you hear, Joe, how she said, you're exactly in person who I imagine you to be from your social media?
That's absolutely perfect. You know, especially because people aren't easy to categorize in a small little box, right? But if you're able to have your quote unquote business card first interaction, and they're like, oh, I already know who you are. And you know what? You actually match how I thought you were. That's amazing. Because can you imagine knowing that you could then follow the same process to create the image for your technicians? So when the technician now arrives, now it's not showing up as a stranger. They're showing up as someone they already are aware of. So now when Dorian goes to this call, knocks on the door and says, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Dorian with Hayes Electric. They're like, oh yeah, I recognize you. I saw the ads. And now you're that much closer to presenting as a 10 when you show up.
Definitely, man. Couldn't agree
I think
more.
it's beautiful.
There's really a couple of the biggest marketing mistakes, and I would love to address them on this podcast. I don't think we've really highlighted this before, but when it comes to organic marketing, I see this all the time. And guys, it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it's not favorable, and I want to explain why. When we start a business, one of the first things we do is make a business card. And the first people you give it to is your friends and family. And part of it's pride, part of it's like, yeah, I'm a business owner now, and welcome to the club. And it's this kind of naive excitement, as some of the seasoned veterans know. There's a lot of pain that comes kind of in the following months and years, right? So those business cards don't typically generate a lot of revenue for us. In fact, they're a bigger expense usually, with not a great return on investment. The same happens in social media, though. Around the same time, we go on Facebook, we create a business page, right? And we ask all our family and friends to follow it. The reality is, though, that we don't have a thorough marketing strategy. We're just creating a page. And what we end up doing is copying what everyone else is doing. And I've got to challenge that for a moment. because what everyone else is doing is, oh, here's your electrical tip of the week. Here's your regional holiday card of the week. They'll put a Christmas bells will be there and say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, right? They probably go back to the office and discuss, well, how could we be appropriate for multiple cultures at this Christmas time? And how can we address everyone equally and all this stuff? But the reality is, all of the efforts that go into your business Facebook page, 90% of them are waste. Here's why. Can I at least explain why?
Clay, I'm literally sitting here just soaking it up. I appreciate everything you're saying. So by all means, fire away, brother.
And Juliet says she's sobbing. So thanks a lot, Joe.
Oh my God. Juliet, we love you. You're amazing.
Here's the thing. Facebook, how many people actually paid for their Facebook account? No one, right? How many people had to pay for their business Facebook account? And yet Facebook is one of the richest enterprises on the planet. Well, why is that then? We have to ask ourselves a clever question here. Well, why is that?
The ads. They're getting a lot of ad spend.
Ad spend. Who spends on ads?
Businesses.
Businesses. So Facebook would actually be in an unlucrative and unprofitable venture to show every post you do in your business to all of your followers anyway. So what do you think they do in their algorithm instead?
From what I understand, they will go based on maximum engagement, because the longer the conversations can happen, the more times they're engaged to see ads.
And to be more specific, it's maximum engagement for personal profiles, because those are the people that buy from those ads. It's not businesses buying from the ads. It's business to consumer, a lot of the ads on Facebook. And it's the consumers, which are all the free Facebook accounts. So as you scroll through Facebook, even after watching us live here and being with us on this podcast, grab it and scroll through on your phone, and even try it on your computer if you really want to give this an exercise. And you answer this question for me. What's the ratio of ads to organic content that you're seeing? And from my experience, this is anywhere from 2 to 4 to 1, meaning 4 organics, maybe a square on your phone. You'll see 4 posts and then boom, ad. Maybe 3 posts, boom, ad. Sometimes 2 posts, boom, ad. Go back to 4, boom, ad. It's inescapable. The ads are everywhere, and half of them are garbage, by the way. That's a whole other conversation. Can't even identify any conversion tactics at all. Just, hey, do you want this? Call now. That's a problem too for another podcast.
Agreed.
I'm on a roll. Do you mind if I keep digging here?
I would be upset if you didn't keep going. Please, by all means. Mike is
Nice
yours. Full steam
Nice
ahead, brother.
touch. So what that tells us is, despite your best intentions and despite me wanting people to follow your business, very few businesses achieve success organically through social media, especially Facebook and Instagram. Especially, they want you to buy ads. So how do we operate in a gray area? Well, you're in the right place to learn that, because that is exactly what we've done with our business. And Facebook hates this. We leverage our personal posts to maintain great engagement with new friends in our market every single day of the week. The audience keeps growing. The know, like, and trust keeps growing. And then just ever so consistent, we drip in an ounce of strongly placed organic market messaging that speaks to the exact problems that we solve. So that we're authority, we're people trust us, we don't pay for ads. And if you look at our business page, Service Loop Electricals maybe got 450 followers, half of which I didn't invite there, they just do. But personal friends were in the thousands each, with thousands overlapping and thousands different across our entire team. And Joe, how effective has that been, do you think, in our entire organic marketing launch since last year?
I'd say it's been absolutely crucial, because at the end of the day, people need to figure out their market, right? You could be the best electrician in the world, but if people don't know about you, you're just going to be sitting at home. So I would say that our Facebook attempts and marketing and strategies have been the most important thing, because now people can know, like, and trust us. We haven't had to spend on anything, but it's also something when they look at us, we're exactly who we are. I'm just as nerdy. I'm just as out there as I am in person. So it all works out. You can always expect who we are.
And that's one of my favorite things about it, man. You get to be you.
Mm-hmm.
You get to be you. And that's amazing. Extremely helpful. And you guys, if you have not got this Facebook cheat sheet from us, because this is honestly maybe one of the most valuable podcasts we've done in organic marketing for calling it out so specifically, you can grab that by simply throwing a comment in the chat anywhere on our Facebook page saying Facebook cheat sheet. Guys, we send that out to help you leverage this. There is almost nothing as powerful as having rapport in a relationship prior to anyone wanting to do business with you. And that's been our commitment to our market, to leave every person better than we found them through every step of their journey and where our journeys, of course, converge. One of the most fruitful things that I've noticed about this exact method and what Juliet's talking about is absolutely when someone new comes into your network, they go to your profile page, they can see the congruency between the business and you, and they can see these personal posts and things about your journey and things about your mission, and then a little dash of authority in there and some action to get hands up and people engaging with you. And what happens is you'll see people come in, the new friend, engage again. You're talking to them in the DMs, and they're continually engaging on your posts as you're talking to them. And next thing you know, you've got a client in mere days.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly fast.
That is really, really cool.
That's all we can fit into this one, man.
I mean, like literally
action items.
Yeah. I feel like what we did in this particular episode was we had a box and you're standing on top of just cramming as much knowledge into this box. And I'm like trying to suit it up like a suitcase, like hold it down, Clay, suit it up.
Might be too much.
But in all honesty, I feel like the basic action for this, like the most basic thing you could possibly do is just re-listen to this podcast. The reason why I say it as a basic is even though we teach it, I love learning from you. I love it. And I feel like you were on fire and on point today. I would say the bare minimum, if you can listen to this, you'll still take something you can apply in your daily life.
So was Juliet, though, right? She was absolutely on fire with that testimony. Love being able to share a piece of our class, piece of the fruits of our labor to help you guys connect with your market. It's the absolute most free way we can help you guys. So all-star action is this, as we've asked so many times before, we want you to take action on this thing, but not just any action, consistent action. Because organic marketing is not for someone who's going to dip in today, put their phone number on a post, ask some strangers to call them now just because they've got the parts to do a certain job. And you know what I mean? Like it gets insanely technical and short. And it's so obvious to your market how short that is. So be a person, plan to engage, go in Facebook groups, talk to people about something other than electrical too. Be a community member, do it consistently, and watch the wins pile up. This has been another episode of Electricpreneur Secrets, the Electricians podcast, episode 263. It is official. We've now got an episode for every workday of the year, if you're a Monday to Friday kind of cat. And we're going to keep going 365 and beyond daily to help you, again, master your sales, simplify your pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. I got to jump on a strategy call, Joe. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys again soon.
Y'all be well. Can't wait to see you soon.